Okay, welcome to Rudolph Berg.
I wanted to surprise you guys with that. I was going to tell you, but I was like, you know
my
what?
goodness.
Surprise.
I like the whiteboard. I like the it's a very Woody Page of you. I think that he does stuff like that.
I like it.
But it shows up backwards. I should have written it. I'm not that talented. I should have.
I was going to say, more power to you. If you can do it, looks right for me. It shows up right here. Yeah. It's going in the right direction.
Good. I was thinking of doing a like if I did a draft, like a live draft show, I was going to do it on whiteboard and just like that old school election guy that just write everything on a whiteboard or something like that.
Yeah, I love it.
I think he died. That made me sad.
Like old John Madden.
That was his name. Tim Russert.
Yeah, Tim Russert.
Yes, Tim Russert.
Yes. So awesome.
That was the 2000 election, I think.
Yep.
Wow.
Rest in peace, Tim Russert.
He was a big Bills fan, I believe. I remember that. I don't remember what I had.
Don't rest in peace then.
Yeah. Hope you're haunting somebody.
Big parrot head.
Really?
Really? Oh yeah.
Yeah, the day he died, Buffett was in Pittsburgh doing a concert because I've seen Buffett like 38 times. And
did you say 38 times?
Yeah.
He did. I'm still doing that math in my head.
I've seen Buffett like maybe 10 or 15 times.
Yeah, the night he died, they put a big thing on at Star Lake, which isn't that funny? There's another Yinzer thing. Star Lake. We don't say, I don't even know what it is now. It's Star Lake.
It's back to Star Lake.
Star Lake.
Oh, good.
I think it's actually back to Star Lake.
It might as well be because that's all anybody has ever.
That's right. That's what everybody just called it anyway. So yeah, Mason Rudolph apparently is back, and people are losing their mind. If he's the third quarterback, I'm perfectly fine.
Who cares?
Totally.
Who cares?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who cares?
And it does sort of make you
wonder
wonder.
about losing Mitch Trubisky than Mason Rudolph. I'm glad Mitch is back. I don't really care about Mason. It's whatever.
And I agree with that. And you know what, LeeAnn? Here's the other thing. If something did unfortunately happen to Kenny, I guarantee if they decided to put in Mason over Trubisky, the crowd would go nuts. They would be happy.
Lose their minds. Lose their minds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the Steelers are lucky with their entire backup quarterback.
Yeah.
I think Trubisky is going to be fine if he ever had to play, and I think Mason Rudolph would be fine as long as it's like a very limited thing. If he ever had to play,
right?
I'm fine with that.
Preseason, that's fine.
Right.
To me, the shame of it is for Mason, who I think wanted this like new opportunity somewhere. Do you know what I mean? I don't necessarily think he earned it. I feel kind of bad for the guy. Do you know what I mean? So if there's any part of it that for me is not happy about it, it's just that it would have been nice for him to just go and try somewhere else and not be able to say like the reason he didn't play is because of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, right. You would think he would at least be a QB2 somewhere, right? I mean,
you would think.
That's the thing.
I mean, all the teams were like,
yeah, the league is starved for quarterbacks, and even in the league, Mason Rudolph couldn't get a chance somewhere. I think he's just fine. And you know what? Fine. If you want to be the backup, the third string Pittsburgh quarterback, go for it, dude. That's that. Hey, you can make good money doing that.
Yeah. And that's probably gonna be the rest of his career. He's just gonna be a journeyman. You know what I mean? Like once he leaves Pittsburgh finally, which maybe he will, maybe he won't, maybe he'll just be in Pittsburgh for the rest of his career. He's probably
going to be count himself lucky,
right?
Yeah, to be like in one place as long as he has. Most backups aren't.
That NFL pension's pretty snazzy.
Yeah.
How
you're still living the dream.
Don't you have to play like 4 years or something to get a pension or something like that? Something like that, or
I think it back down to 4 or 5 now. So
yeah. So hey, dude's set. The dude's and what did he make? Like $5 million last year or something like that, or $2.5 million, something like that.
More than I made.
Right?
More than
all of us combined.
More than all of us combined.
We all have to split $2.5 million for this podcast. So
right, yeah, exactly.
Wish.
Yeah.
2.5 million Mexican pennies or something.
Mexican pennies.
Skittles.
So we're talking schedule, and people say it doesn't matter. We already know the teams. I think it matters a lot.
It's
when
fun.
you play them, primetime games, Thursday night games. I think it matters a lot. And now they have now teams can play 2 Thursday night games, and the thinking is, oh no, that's bad. But even I think the players don't mind it because you get 10 days. You get 10 days between the.
It's like a mini bye week.
It's a mini bye.
Yeah.
I don't know. I may agree with that. I thought Vince Williams has been one of the best follows on Twitter.
He's fantastic.
He said today, he's convinced the NFL hates the Steelers because if you look at it, we're the only team in the AFC North that has 2 Thursday night games.
Yeah.
Everybody else either has 1 or none. We have 2. I don't know. I don't think the players like it as much. I think you're right, Joe. It's a valid point, but it is 2 Thursday night games. It's a wonder why we have the 2 Thursday night games.
But they're at home.
Cam Hayward said on his podcast last week he'd rather give up a holiday with his family than play 2 Thursday night games. Yeah. He said he would rather have Christmas or Thanksgiving.
And here they are
to play 2 Thursday games.
And they're away for New Year's Eve. So at New Year's Eve, they're in Seattle.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care about that. He's like, that's not really a holiday. And he's like, you know, that's not a big deal. I got kids, I'm old. He said, so that doesn't matter to me. And he said, but, you know, he said the other holidays do matter to people. And he said, in the Thursday nights, it's just brutal. He said his body doesn't start to feel good until Thursday after a game. And then now you're expected to like go and play. And he said, and it doesn't matter to him. The guy that does the show with him asked him, did it matter to him whether it was home or away? Did that make a difference, like, in how he felt about it? He's like, I don't really care. He's like, I just don't want to do it.
It's just not enough time between.
Yeah, not enough time.
Now he's old. So I wonder if it's a split between old and young players, whether they care or not.
Yeah, because Ben made the same thing, LeeAnn. He said the same thing. Yeah. Later on in his career, there was a year they had 2 Thursday night games, and he was over it. And he said the exact same thing. Take the body to heal and everything. So yeah.
Maybe Najee loves it, or Kenny Pickett, or George Pickens. Maybe that
young whippersnappers.
Maybe we'll see. All right, so let's go through this, and we'll make our predictions, and we'll just say how we'll do it. We'll do it like doubtful is 25% chance, questionable is 50% chance, and probable is 75% chance of them winning. So let's go.
So we're not going to do just straight win or loss.
We'll do win or loss.
We'll do both. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I made this. I even made formulas in the spreadsheets.
You're such a nerd.
I put an effort, man. Okay, so let's start Sunday, September 10th, 1:00. The home game. They finally have a home game to start the season. Whoa.
Yeah.
Against San Francisco. Wow. I think in terms of when you want to play San Francisco, this is a best case scenario.
Yeah.
Week 1. All right. Allison, let's start with you. What are you saying, win or loss?
I'm going to say loss. Do I give my probability or do I?
Sure. Okay.
I think it's, what was the middle one?
Middle is questionable.
Questionable. Only because maybe there's that, sometimes the teams go all the way to the other coast and they suck or whatever. Maybe like that's my only little caveat that they may win, is that they're at home and the 49ers have to travel 1,000,000 yards. Yards.
All right. LeeAnn, what do you think?
I'm going to say win and say questionable, because I think that while the 49ers might not have their act together yet, the week 1, and that might play into our favor, we might not have our act together yet either. And even though we're at home, it could work against us. Week 1, I don't think your team quite looks like they end up looking as you get settled in the season. So I'm going to say win. I think we're excited to be at home again finally, and that plays into it. Everybody's pumped up, but questionable.
All right, Darren.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think that 49ers team is really good. I would actually put them as the odds-on favorite in the NFC and probably get to the Super Bowl this year. It's probably, they have most of that defense coming back. Arguably the best defense in the NFL last year, really all-around defense. It's a tall order at home. I mean, we finally get one at home. It's great. And the Steelers actually traditionally have matched up against the 49ers pretty well. It might not, I don't know how many, I know Joe and I are probably old enough. We remember that 84 season when the 49ers went 15-1. Their only loss that year. So
they beat Joe Montana.
Yeah, and so it's weird that we've always kind of had their number, but I think there's so many new pieces to the team this year. They're going to take a while to figure that out, where these people fit in, get that flow going. If Matt Canada can get the flow going, so I think it's just a tall order. If this was like the Cardinals coming in this week or Tennessee, I'm probably pretty confident to win. But I give it a loss, and I feel it's kind of doubtful. It's just such a tall order that first week to take on the 49ers.
I'm going to say loss, but it's just 50-50. It's questionable. Remember last year, the Steelers beat Cincinnati in a wacky game. But I think when you give Mike Tomlin 5 months to get ready for one opponent, he's going to know that opponent inside and out. And I think that's going to help. But like Darren said, San Francisco's really good.
They are really good.
We don't know who their quarterback's going to be yet, but they're really good.
That's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. Who is their quarterback?
Why I think we might have their number. Do you know what I mean? They just aren't established yet. Do you know what I mean? I think if it was like week 8, we could forget it, because I think they'll have their stuff together by then.
Yeah, fair point.
I happen to think all their quarterbacks suck. I'm not sold on
overrated.
I'm not sold on Brock Purdy. I think he's basically he's basically Duck Hodges, a smarter Duck Hodges that plays well in that system.
Yeah,
I'm not
system guy. I think
he's Trey Lance, I think major bust, and we know Sam Darnold is a joke.
Right, yeah.
So their defense is really good.
If it's Sam Darnold, I actually give the Steelers a pretty good chance, but I'll just say loss because their defense is so good, and they just got Javon Hargrave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That would have been nice to get him back, but
week 2, Monday night, Cleveland. I think this at home. I think this is a guaranteed win.
Guaranteed win.
Yep. Win.
100%.
What do you think, Darren?
I agree. It just has the makings of it. I mean, the Browns fans are just, they were so cocky last year. It just didn't go well for them. You and I talked about this, Joe. I think the Browns are in disarray. It's kind of hard to believe because I don't think the team's bad. The roster's good. I think Chubb's arguably the best running back in the NFL right now. And they can't get out of their own way. They finally have a pretty good roster, both sides of the ball. But yeah, don't give me any of that Myles Garrett's as good as TJ Watt. I mean, that's just baloney, but they're good and they just can't get out of their own way. They proved it last year. I didn't see that they made a lot of improvements in the draft or in the offseason free agency to really improve them. And I don't think they're being coached well enough to even make that improvement. So
they lack leadership. Always do. They lack leadership.
That's top to bottom. They lack leadership.
Yeah.
And plus Myles Garrett, they always like to compare him with TJ Watt. They play different positions.
But still they're
comparison.
Well, it's Pro Football Forecast. They just love the Browns, and every year the Browns are going to win the Super Bowl. Every year Myles Garrett's going to be the defensive player of the year.
They put their entire, they sold their soul to the devil to get the Deshaun Watson, and it basically ruined the team. They sold their future. They gave up so many first round, all these draft picks for him. He better work out.
Yeah. I think it's too early to say whether it's going to bring him down or not. I hope it does. But I mean, he could end up coming back this year and playing.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to play above what he did in Houston. But if he plays just as good or maybe just a little bit not as, you know what I mean? Like if he plays along the same level, I think, they make, then maybe the trade is that whole thing.
That last year, Joe, I can't remember if that was a Monday night or it was Thursday night. It was a Thursday night game in Cleveland. We couldn't get out of our own way. I mean, we actually played well against them. We made so many
mistakes. Remember that, yeah.
We could not guard the tight end. And all that was they were letting him split the safeties, and we somehow could not figure that out. And yet that's like a high school play. And we just couldn't catch up to it. But by the time we got back to the Browns in the second half of the season, we took care of business.
That was in the middle of the Mitch Trubisky hell that we were in, where we couldn't move the ball at all. And they actually, I think it was Jaylen Warren had this awesome run or something like that. And he got called back on a illegal man downfield because they were the league was happy with if a offensive lineman moved one step forward, they called it illegal man downfield for some. I don't know why they were emphasizing that. So that was weird. But yeah, I think that's a total win. Week 3, Sunday night in Las Vegas.
Yinzers take over the strip, baby.
Oh,
Yinzers take over the strip. You'll be seeing an Eric Pegram jersey walking right by the Flamingo. Guaranteed.
Yeah. There will be a Yinzer in the Bellagio. Is that the big fountain that's in the Bellagio? Yeah. Yes. There will be a Yinzer in that fountain drowning or something like that.
Bunch of TJ Watt jerseys just playing Wheel Fortune slots.
There you go. All right, Darren, win or loss?
Win.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the Raiders. I mean, they lost their big tight end. They got a big tight end in the draft, but they're like LeeAnn said with the Browns. There's just no leadership there. They can't get out of their own way too, and there's some talent there. But we've had our fair share of bad luck against the Raiders in the past. I get that, but I think it's a little bit different in Vegas, and I think we break the mystique. I think they go out there and they beat Las Vegas going away.
All right, Allison.
Ooh, this is a tough one because I sort of was leaning toward loss because we kind of, I don't know what our record is against them, but we kind of horrible against.
Always struggle.
But that was in Oakland.
My only caveat there again is like, how is Garoppolo going to play? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they're in the same quarterback.
He's even going to be healthy. Like week 3, he could be like on IR by then. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So you're thinking loss?
Yeah. With the probability being like, low, would it be like if I'm thinking that they might win?
Yeah. Let's just say 50-50 chance of winning. Yeah. LeeAnn, what do you think?
I'm with Allison. I'm leaning towards a loss, but with that middle level of probability, I think that we just historically struggle with the Raiders. Wherever we play them, we just do. We beat them last time, which makes me feel like we'll lose this time. And as much as I hate it, we seem to lose to them when we never should. When they're terrible, when they're awful, we somehow manage to lose to them. And so we beat them last time. I don't know that we'll get lucky twice in a row.
I'm going to say loss also. And the reason why is kind of like when the Penguins go down to Florida and they always play terribly because they actually see this thing called the sun and it's warm and they're more preoccupied with being on the beach than playing hockey. It's kind of the same thing. You put those guys in Vegas and you expect them to behave. I don't know. That's a tall task.
Good point.
That's a tall task. There's gonna be some hungover dudes walking into the especially a Sunday night. They could be playing slots all they could be going to I guess there's no more Siegfried and Roy. They could go to some show or something.
I was gonna say the bunny ranch. Kenny will show up with like a pair of red lacy panties sticking out of his jersey.
Could you imagine like 04 Ben being in Vegas? That would have been
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
he's not showing up. He would have some kind of injury in a walking boot or something like that.
He would have rolled in like what's Joe Namath or something like
That's
that.
Right.
Breathing fumes on everybody.
So I looked at their head-to-head record just because I was curious. In 25 games, the Steelers have 11 wins and 14 losses. So it's not as bad as I thought it was, but
it's not, except it just feels like we lose when we shouldn't to them. Like the only times we lose are times when everybody's like guaranteed win.
Right.
The Raiders are terrible. Right. They haven't won a game all season.
Yeah. And we just squeaked by last year.
Barely.
I agree with Darren. It could be one of those things where it's actually a Steelers home game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really good possibility.
It could be
doing a big tailgate out there, and
it's
going to be
like at SoFi Stadium when they.
It could be. There could be like no home field advantage because it'll be all Steelers fans, so that could be interesting. Week 4, Sunday, October 1st, 1:00 in Houston, a game I might be at.
Oh,
I'm excited.
Nice. It's exciting.
Yeah, that would be my first away game, going to a away football game. So that would be cool. Yeah,
That would be cool.
I'd fight some Texans fans, but I don't know if there's any going to show up.
Good luck
just record it as long as you record it. I don't,
Okay, yeah, I would.
I on the internet.
Good idea. Get that content.
Yes.
Okay, I think this is an easy win. What do you think? What do you guys think?
Easy win.
Everybody agree?
I don't, actually, this is where I kind of steal a page out of LeeAnn's book there. I think this is one of those games we probably should win. For some reason, it's going to be one of those ones we find a way to lose. So I know I'm going to be the unpopular opinion. I just, I don't know. No reason. CJ Stroud, we'll see how he does down there. The running back did very well last year, and they have a great running game to build on. But I just I don't know. It just seems like one of those trap games. I think at that point in my book, we're riding in there 2-1, feeling pretty good, and it just feels like Baltimore's next week at home.
Too cocky.
Yeah, just feel like it's questionable, Joe. So I give you that 50% rating on that one.
You think maybe loss?
Maybe a loss.
There is no way after 4 weeks they're 4-0. They're losing to somebody.
Mm-hmm. They're losing to somebody.
Yeah, right. This isn't 2020 anymore.
Right. Yeah, when they went 11-0, yeah.
Right, yeah.
2020 wasn't even 2020. We were all sitting there going, they got to lose sometime. You can't keep winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. That was, as some people said, the worst 11-0 team ever.
Oh my God, it was so stressful.
Yeah.
Statement ever also. Sunday, October 8th, 1:00 game, home to Baltimore.
I think it's a win.
I think it's a win.
I think it's a win.
Yeah. I think it's a win. I feel they're going to be up for that. I think they get to win there. Maybe at that point they're 2-0 in the division. They go into the bye week. I think it's a big win for them, and they go in the bye week at 3-2.
Allison?
I agree. I think they're going to. I mean, we'll get to it later. I think they're going to lose in Baltimore and win in Pittsburgh. That's kind of my.
I agree. You know what? It'll still be early, and they're changing their entire offense.
Mm-hmm.
That can't go well.
No,
they can't, or at least not at first. They got stuff to figure out. And I got to tell you something. OBJ ain't it. Overrated. I don't know about their other wide receivers. They did at least try to get some wide receivers, but OBJ ain't it, and he is going to be cranky when he's open. And Lamar decides to run 20 yards for a touchdown. He is going to be angry. He is not going to take that well.
He's going to be throwing water coolers on the sideline, making nets and things. Yeah.
I don't know if he finishes the season. He might get cut or something like that.
He might pull an Antonio Brown.
Yep.
Take off his jersey.
Take off his jersey, run off the field.
Mm-hmm. That's not going to go well. That is not going to go well. We're going to laugh at all those things like, oh, yeah, I really wanted to play with Lamar. Like, do you, dude? Okay, week 6 is a bye. Little early for a bye, but
that's what I marked down, Joe. I mean, it's early. You look at some of the other competitive teams, like the Bills have a killer schedule too from week 9 on. But the Bills and the Chiefs that come into that week 13 bye week, man, that's great.
Yeah,
I would love to have a bye week.
Oh man, that's nice.
And that's a gift. Because, like you said,
what if they're beat up? It might suck.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We always get ours early.
Yeah.
Week 7, Sunday at 4:00 at LA Rams. I think this is another situation. First of all, I think the Rams suck.
Yeah.
There's another situation where it's going to be a Steeler home game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think this is a win.
Funny thing about this is I think it's a win. The average ticket, because I might be out there at that one. The average ticket for a Rams home game, this is hilarious to me, is $111. The Chargers is $81. So like a home game for the Chargers is $81. For the Rams, it's $111.
Is it because they won a Super Bowl, maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't have anything to do with it, but maybe is it because they won a Super Bowl? I don't know.
Probably.
More people attend.
You ask 10 people in LA, what are the Chargers and where do they play? 9 of them won't know who they are, and 1 of them will say San Diego. I don't think they know they have a team.
Right.
The really crappy thing about that, and one of my best friends lives out there. He's a Charger season ticket holder for years, and like it's almost, I think it was 84% of the Chargers season ticket holders lived in San Diego. Well, when they did that reform and that vote to keep the Chargers, they didn't vote in San Diego County.
Yeah.
So
Oh wow.
And so all these season ticket holders had no say.
It's unfair.
It's terrible.
It's totally unfair. It was sad. They used to fill up the stadium pretty good. I went out to San Diego for a Steelers, San Diego Chargers game, and there's a lot of San Diego fans. It was disappointing for them.
It's always a shame when a team moves. You never want to see that. Yeah, that really sucks.
Unless it's Cleveland.
I even felt bad for Cleveland. I enjoy hating them.
Yeah.
I never want to see a team leave.
It does suck
for me. Yeah.
Okay. Allison, LeeAnn, what do you think? Do you think this is a win?
That's a win.
I think they had their crap together by week 7. They have a bye week before that, if any injuries they may have, they'll get, they'll hopefully get right and play a good game. Sunday,
October 29th, 1:00, Jacksonville. I'm thinking loss. I not that I'm sold on Jacksonville, but every time it's almost like the Raiders. Every time they play them, something weird happens. And now they're kind of good. Mm-hmm. There's some weird magic going on with the Jaguars. I don't know.
I have it as a loss too, Joe. I mean, it just goes back to, remember Fred Taylor? Like we couldn't.
Yeah.
We could have shot him, and he still would have ran.
Who was that quarterback? David Gerard or something like that?
David Gerard and
God,
Mark Brunell.
Byron Leftwich.
Mark Brunell.
Mark Brunell.
He works in Pittsburgh now, doesn't he? Isn't he like a scout or something?
Oh, does he? Oh,
really?
Yeah?
No,
wow. I did not know that.
I know Merrill Hodge does.
I think you're right.
And then of course Blake frickin' Bortles. Man, that was one of the most. I always say the Tim Tebow playoff game was like one of the recent depressing, heartbreaking losses. But that lost
the Lions.
But
I thought for sure he was in Pittsburgh at one point.
Oh, well. I don't know. Right now he's a coach for the Lions.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. But
Wikipedia doesn't show that he ever worked in Pittsburgh.
But that playoff loss to Jacksonville and Blake frickin' Bortles.
Yeah.
God, that was just heartbreaking. But anyway,
who was the Steelers defensive back that went over to their locker room and was chanting that you're going to lose, go back home, and remember?
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he made a real total ass.
Oh, great. Oh, you know
Joey
what?
Porter.
No, I think it was that dumb safety that sucked. I forget his name.
Marcus Allen, but was that in Jacksonville?
No, not Marcus Allen. It was some other. Okay. It was this one safety that sucked, and all he cared about was delivering big hits, but he never did. I forget what his name was. Allison, what do you think?
I'm with you, Joe. I feel like it's a loss.
All right, LeeAnn.
Loss. Yeah, it's that or the Titans. I'm a coin toss between those two games. One of them's a loss.
Yeah. So next game is Thursday night at home. Mike Mitchell. That's who it was. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That guy sucked.
He was terrible.
But if you're listening, hi. Thursday nights at home in Tennessee. I think this is a guaranteed win because I think Tennessee is going to be horrible. I think their time is done.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yep, I'm with you.
Win,
Darren.
Win. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're just in transition. I mean, Tannehill might not even be on the team. They might have traded Derrick Henry at this point. They might just go total rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people saying that they may move Derrick Henry by the deadline and get themselves, situated where they're having 2 high draft picks. So I agree, Joe. Yep.
Yeah.
They're just retooling for next year. Sunday, November 12th, 1:00, home to Green Bay. No more Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. I think this is a win. I'm not sold on Jordan Love. Not that I think maybe he'll be okay, but I don't think Green Bay is going to be all that hot. I don't know.
Nope.
I think it's going to take him some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a win.
Win.
What do you think, Darren?
I think the Packers might be about the 3rd best team in the NFC North division there. So, yeah, I go with a win too.
By the way, Lions ain't it. All this Lions, the darlings and stuff, they're not going to be that good.
Yeah.
I think they will.
Their defense, I do. The offense, let's see if their
defense is good.
Yeah. Jared Goff played well in the second half of the season. If he plays like that to start the season next year, they'll be.
I don't have that faith. We're talking. This is Jared Goff we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
but this is the NFC North we're talking about. There's no more dominant team. No. Chicago might be a little bit better, but they were horrible last year.
The Lions could very well sweep the Packers and the Bears and split with the Vikings.
They might go like 9-8 and win the division, because I don't think the Vikings are going to be that good either. They got lucky last year.
Their defense is awful, and they just got worse.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's going to be one of those deals where like 3 teams are like 8-8 and like 9-8 will win the division or something like that. So, but still, I don't think the Lions are all that cracked up to be. Sunday, November 19th, 1:00 at Cleveland. I think this is going to be a loss just because.
I always split them. So we're winning the other game against the Browns at home, so we're going to lose the game in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I just don't ever see us winning both. I don't see them winning both. I just feel like we always split with them in the Ravens.
I have it as a win. We have an excellent track record in Cleveland. We've been very good there. And I think Cleveland is just a mess. Maybe, Joe, if it's a loss, it is just because. I'll buy that. I have it as a win. I think we sweep Cleveland. I haven't splitting with Cincy and Baltimore, but I think we sweep Cleveland. I just feel pretty strong about that game.
I could see that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be tough beating Cleveland, but I do sort of feel like it's going to be a win, only because I would love to see them sweep the Browns. Wouldn't that be great?
Awesome.
I would love I think this is their year. I think their entire window is like this year, because next year Deshaun Watson's contract is like counting like $75 million against the cap or some crap like that. Like it's just insane. They won.
In 39 years, the Browns have had 4 winning seasons, and I just don't see enough. I mean, I don't mean to beat a dead drum, but like LeeAnn said in the beginning of the thing, and I think Allison echoed it too, is they're just a mess, and there's just nothing there. It shows me that they are, and I'm not being a Yinzer here. There's just nothing that shows me that they are heading in the right direction. I can say I think Cincinnati is, I'll give the Bengals credit, but the Browns can't give them that credit. Maybe the Ravens turn things around a little bit. There are some things there that could make it happen. I just don't see it happening in Cleveland. So
the Browns will always brand.
The Browns are the Browns. They were doing fine. They had Baker Mayfield. They had a solid team. Everything was fine. And then their dumb owner has not only sold the soul to the devil to get Deshaun Watson, he almost broke the league. There's like, let's give this guy $500 million guaranteed. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Every owner is like, you son of a... Why did you do this? I mean, Lamar Jackson's like, I want his money. I mean, that was almost a war started over this.
At the next owners meeting, they all need to gang up on him with the soap and a sock and be like, what were you thinking?
Seriously, wash his mouth out with soap or something like that. Sunday, November 26th, 1:00 at Cincinnati. I think it was a loss. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's a loss.
I think we're splitting the Bengals, so I have this as a loss.
So do I. I think the home teams are going to win in this split. So I have the Bengals winning at home, and we have later down the line of the Steelers winning in Pittsburgh. But I think it's a loss.
I hate the Bengals, but they look real good. They look
good.
They look like
give them credit where credit's due.
Yeah, you got to do. Yeah, you got to. Sunday, December 3rd, 1:00, home to the Cardinals. I think this is a guaranteed win, but this could also be one of those fluky things where, like they're supposed to win, but they don't. But I still think it's going to be a win.
It's a win.
Yeah, it's a win.
Yeah, I got it for a win.
Yeah, they might be tanking.
Talk about bad. They're bad.
They might be tanking because they get their pick, their first round pick, and they get the Texans' first round pick next year. So they might be trying to go 1 and 2 in next year's draft. Maybe
wouldn't be the worst decision.
Yeah. Hey. If you ain't first, you're last. If you're not gonna try for a championship, then tank. Go.
Yeah.
Go for next year. I also think, I don't know. I guess Kyler Murray is hurts, and I don't know if he's even going to play this year or something like that.
Yeah,
even if he does,
I'm not tiny.
Terrible.
My. Speaking of tiny, that Carolina quarterback Bryce Young. Oh my goodness!
I'd like to see them stand next to each other. I don't know exactly how.
He's R2D2 sized. He is R2D2.
Aditi Kingabala was on our show a couple weeks ago. She had said something like, "I'd like to stand next to Bryce Young to see
to make him feel better, so people stop talking about how short he is." Is what she said. She's like, and so I go, they take me in to stand next to all the short quarterbacks, so people are talking about their height.
I was so happy that you guys got Aditi. You guys get the best guess. I was like cheering for you. Like, oh my god, that's so good. Yeah, you guys had a great time. That looked like a lot of fun. She seems really cool. I'm kind of mad at her, but she seems like a pretty cool person.
I think a lot of Steelers fans feel the same way.
We
converted LeeAnn, though. I sort of feel like we converted LeeAnn.
She won me over a lot. I really liked her explanation about the whole thing where she explained about the fandom and how she feels like if she's making all the fan bases angry, she's doing her job right. I thought that was a really valid point. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was valid.
Okay. Yeah. Thursday, December 7th, a Thursday night game, home to New England.
That's revenge game from last year.
I think it is a win. I agree. What do you think, Allison and Darren?
Yeah, I think it's a win.
What do you think, Darren?
Yeah, I have it as a win too. It's just the revenge game factor. I think the Patriots are on the right track to getting back to being a better team. But I just feel like I think Arizona is a fairly easy opponent. I think they're really feeling pretty good coming off of that. Good off of New England or off that New England win. So, and they match up well against this New England team. It's not the New England team of old, obviously. And yeah, I think it's a good Thursday night win. They're going to sweep. We're going to bitch about the Thursday night games. We're going to win both.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, he has a lot to prove because last year was a disaster. Not all his fault. Belichick had his drinking buddies as let's make the defensive coordinator the quarterback's coach and the offensive coordinator, and here you go, second year guy like that was that, and Mac Jones got mad about that. I don't blame him, but still, Bill Belichick is a great coach and a lousy GM, and he ain't done diddly squat after Brady. You look real good when you have the greatest quarterback of all time on your team. When he's not there, not so much.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah. Week 15, for some reason they have it as TBD. This is at Indianapolis.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. There are a couple guys that are actually theorizing that that could be a game that could have been a bump game, a move game if it has playoff implications, because the Colts, they could be contending the AFC South, the Steelers contending the AFC North. So it could be interesting. That Colts team at away, I mean, you just never know with Indianapolis. They're always stingy. It's like even going back to 1995, that AFC Championship game, like when we should have blown their doors off. They were right there to the very end.
Jim Harbaugh.
And freaking Harbaugh. And, I think I actually have it as a loss. I don't know why. I just feel they're going to go on a roll here. If they go by what most of us are saying, they're going to go 3 in a row, lose, win 2 in a row. I just don't see them winning like 9 out of 8 games in that stretch. And so I'm going to, take the Colts for not much of a bigger reason than it could be a trap game there, because I think they're going to win next week against Cincinnati.
All right. LeeAnn?
Agree. 100%. Yep.
You think a loss?
I think it's an iffy loss. You know what I mean? I agree that I feel like you can't keep winning and winning and winning and winning in a row. And so something's got to be a loss, because I got us winning the next 2. So we got to lose somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't been keeping track. I think what is it going to, like 14 wins or something already? I mean,
something. Yeah.
We're at game 14. I'll give you the standings in a second after. But what do you think, Alan? What do you think, Allison?
I think it's going to be a win.
Okay.
Just going to be Anthony
right
Richardson.
now.
I mean, maybe there'll be something going there by that point in the season, but
as of right now, me, Darren, and LeeAnn have them at 9-5, and Allison has them at 10-4.
Okay.
I could see them being I could see them being at 9 or 10 wins by after game 14. I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, I think that's more reasonable than last year's. For me.
Yeah, that's true.
This is going to be such a fun episode to watch after the season.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Our popcorn and like.
That's right. Saturday, December 23rd. Thank goodness, not Christmas. Home to Cincinnati.
Win.
You think? Okay, so I'm saying oh gosh. Okay. I'll say win. I'm changing my mind. Okay, so Darren, you say win.
I have it as a loss. There's a lot to consider with this. I mean, they used to be unbeatable at home. I mean, they always have a great crowd. It's going to be a pro Seattle crowd, but they're only 15 and 10.
This is Cincinnati.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Home to Cincinnati.
Ahead. Leave it to the guy to mess it up, right? They're going to win against Cincinnati at home.
Yeah, okay.
At home.
I think they're going to lose. I just
I'm changing my mind. I'm saying loss.
I just think the Bengals are just they're always
I just remember last year they destroyed us at home.
Allison, do you have the Bengals sweeping the Steelers then?
I could see that.
I do have. Yeah,
I could see that.
I'm not opposed to it. You're not.
I don't want to see it happen.
Yeah. LeeAnn, what do you think?
No, I think I have it a win to win. Okay. Optimistic.
I think it's 50-50. I don't know.
I do think it's iffy.
Because I just remember last year they just came in here and just smacked us.
Dismantled us. Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know. But I
think we're a better team this year. But they're good. I mean, all the credit. They're really good. I just can't have getting swept by them. One's got to be a win and one's got to be a loss for me.
That could be a big game for them because their last 3 years brutal as us. They got us in Kansas City.
Yeah,
right.
And these last 3 games for us are tough. So, if you want to really prove your mantle and set yourself up for somewhat of a playoff run or be there, you got to win games like this. So, and I think they'll be up for it. I just have a good feeling about it. I'm optimistic with you, LeeAnn, on that win at home against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And it could be fun because if we do, that could end up costing them, a lot. So
like the number 1 seed. Yeah.
It could. Yeah.
New Year's Eve, 4:05 p.m. Eastern, which is at Seattle. I think this is a loss every time they go into Seattle.
Win. I'm telling you right now. Because
why is that?
I'm going to be there, and that's a guaranteed win, my friend. That is a guaranteed win. Yep. I've already got it planned. Heading back to Seattle.
Have you been to Seattle before?
Not only going through it. I've never been there to visit. Yeah.
The Space Needle is really cool. Pike Place or Pike, whatever they're called, is overrated. But it's a cool town.
I'm looking forward to it. You know the artist Brian Oates that does the stadium pictures? He lives in downtown Seattle, so we're meeting up for a game. I'm excited about it.
Cool. Okay. You better bring a win. No pressure, but if they lose, it's your fault.
No pressure. It's my fault. Understood. I can handle it.
Allison, what do you think?
I have this as a loss.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. It's going to be tough.
What do you think, Darren?
Yeah, I have it as a loss for just some outside factors. I mean, the Seattle is better, but since 2020, they're only 15-10 at home. So that, the 12th man defense and the very pro Seattle crowds that get there is loud as it's. That's all factors still, but they're not as good as home as you would think that they are. Despite that, I think it could be a loss because it's a New Year's Eve crowd. They're going to be up for it. It's just a tall order. It's a winnable game for the Steelers, but it's a very tall order to go out there on New Year's Eve, beat that crowd at home. They're going to be up for it. I mean, it's a Seattle home game with party for New Year's Eve. Roll right into that. So we'll see what Twitter looks like at midnight in Seattle from the Space Needle. But I have it as a loss, but I could be convinced as a win, but I'm pretty sure it's a loss there.
Allison, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like it's a loss. But it's questionable. Yep.
Okay, so then final game, week 18, TBD, and I'll bet it's going to be a Sunday night game at Baltimore. This could have huge implications. I'm saying win, just because.
I'm saying loss, and if that's the case, I have them losing the last 3 games of the season.
Hey, a lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying that they have a tough ending and they could lose the last 3.
Mm-hmm.
Darren, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you fly back from Seattle and you get this Baltimore game away again, and yeah, you're right. It's a tough last 3 games, but there's something there, Joe, and I still just don't know if Baltimore is the way they used to be. We could go in this game and actually we could be a touchdown favorite, or it could be a 3-point game, something like that. But I just have a feeling it's a win. I feel we're gonna have Baltimore's number this year. It's an away game, and I think it's gonna be a Sunday night. That's like you said, the other game on the schedule that's to be determined, and I think they're waiting for what that's gonna be.
It could be a meaningless game because Lamar got hurt again and missed like half the season again, like he's done the last couple years, and it could be totally, useless and meaningless. So could be nothing.
The Steelers are at this point the youngest team in the division. Go out there after 18 weeks. It's 12 weeks since their bye week, but I think their youth kind of helps out here a little bit. I like them to go over there, and I would say it's an upset still, but I think they upset Baltimore at home.
Yeah. What do you think, LeeAnn?
I'm going with a win here. We're sweeping Baltimore this year just because I got to spend a lot of time with Baltimore fans. We're going to sweep them.
Nice.
Baltimore fans. Baltimore fans are fun.
They are.
What's interesting though about the quarterbacks in this division is that Joe Burrow is going to be coming up for a new contract soon. They're paying out the mouth, nose, whatever body part for Lamar Jackson. Same with Deshaun Watson. We could end up being like in a good place in terms
somehow
of
they made somehow Baltimore, I think, made his Lamar Jackson's contract so that they don't pay him much this year. So this is like their last year to have him cheap, and then after that it's going through the roof. But okay,
but they always go through the roof eventually. You can't keep them cheap forever, and then it catches up to you.
This is true. So here's what we have. Here is what we have we have me and Allison have them at 10-6, 10-7. Darren has them at 11-6, and LeeAnn has them at 12-5.
It's always catch up eventually. It's always LeeAnn.
Nothing changes. We're the eternal optimist, LeeAnn, because I think you had them at 12 wins last year.
I'm going to tell you too, I really talked it up this time, and I was like, I am not going to be the same as I was last year where I predict us to win. I'm going to be realistic. And I was just like, I did a good job being so realistic. And then I was like, oh shoot.
I gotta tell you, I was thinking the same thing. It's like, if I go individual game, but I'm saying they are ended up at 10-7 one way or the other. I think that's their record no matter what. So it just happened to be that way. That's kind of why I said that when in Baltimore, reasonable. It's like, oh my God, I'm 9 and So
and they're matched up against that AFC South, and that AFC South is a hodgepodge of I think it's still anybody's division. I don't think there's a clear cut in that one, and they got to play each one of those teams. And traditionally the Jaguars are not our best matchup.
I don't know what to expect from Indianapolis. They could be good or they could be bad. Richardson is a few
teams like that.
Oh yeah. Houston could be okay. We never know. We don't know exactly what to expect from Tennessee, but Indianapolis, I just have a feeling they're going to be bad because they're basically saying, okay, this is our quarterback and he looks awesome, but he's also raw as heck. He needs that experience. So this could be one of those years where he's really bad until he figures it out. This could be like Justin Fields with the Bears. Yeah, he looks good, but the team stinks or something. I don't know. Or maybe last year was a fluke and they could be good. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. It's an interesting matchup that they pair with the AFC South and the AFC West this year and NFC West. And
now here is what this is I got from DraftKings of what they think the over-under totals are for wins. And I'll just do the AFC North. They have Cincinnati at 11.5 wins. Do you think they'll go over or under 11.5 wins?
Over. I think they're gonna go over.
I think they'll go over, but I think they're actually getting to a point where it's getting to be time to do or die for the Bengals. They've had the team there last couple of years. They haven't been able to get past either, the Chiefs for some reason, what another. So I think there's a lot of pressure on them this year. So I'll take the over as well. But if it gets to week 16 when they're playing at us and they're on the playoff bubble or not performing well, that could be they lose that game and they could spiral. So
I agree with that.
I just have a feeling something's going to happen. Somebody's like Burrow's going to get hurt. Something's going to happen where I think they'll be good, but something's going to happen. So I could see him at 11 wins. Baltimore, their win total 9.5.
I don't think that's.
I could see him at 9 or 10 wins.
Yeah. I was gonna say 9 or 10 seems reasonable, but I think it really depends, like you said, whether, I don't know, how much does it factor in if Lamar gets hurt or not? Do you know what I mean? Because then it's not like they haven't done okay when Lamar's hurt. They've done okay. So not like other teams. I don't know.
Yeah. Cleveland's over and under on wins is 9.5. I would bet the house on the under.
Yeah,
I don't think they're getting if they get 9 wins, that's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
And then the Steelers over and under, they basically have the Steelers, if you believe this, in last place. They have their over and under at 8.5 wins. I would bet the house on the over on that.
Over.
Yep.
Boy,
and that's not just me being an optimistic Yinzer. I mean, I think what we saw from the end of last season, like post-bye, I don't know how anybody watched what we did last season and then look at the improvements we made this offseason and then be like, 8 games, that's all they're going to win. Like, how is that what you come up with?
This team is better than last year's team, and we won 9 games last year. Hello.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
The disrespect, obviously, we're watching things through black and gold colored glasses, but the disrespect that the Steelers get throughout the league, it's funny. It's just funny. Like, good.
So I'll take it.
Keep downing us.
We'll take it.
That's locker room type crap. Is reasonable as I think they are with the Ravens and the Bengals. They're just as unreasonable with us. I agree with you on that. I do think if there's one thing is that offense has got to start proving it can generate points, Joe. I had this discussion this past week with Joe Starkey a little bit. I think that Matt Canada has to have that offense at 25 points a game. They got to start scoring a little bit more. So I can see why there's the seeds of doubt. But I think they're there that they're going to overcome that.
Matt Canada is the weak link of this team.
He could be or he couldn't be. I mean, because this is what you and I and Allison talked about this 2 weeks ago on the podcast, is that he has no more excuses. Matt Canada has no more excuses. They've given him the weapons. They've given an offensive line, young, hungry, aggressive. This should all be there. It should all be there.
It's do or die for Matt Canada for sure.
It really is. Yeah, 100%.
It really is. So we will
8 wins because I feel that's unreasonable. But I see the seeds of doubt. I understand why they're there a little bit.
I mean, the offensive line improved greatly. The cornerbacks improved. The defensive line improved, and otherwise, it's the same team. I think 10 wins is really where they're at. If things go bad, maybe 9 wins again, but I could see 11 wins from this team, depending on how things go.
Because if you broke that schedule down, if you took it and cut it in half, Joe, if you look at the away games, our road games are not against great opponents. I mean, the Bengals might be our toughest away opponent. They're away at Vegas. They're away at Houston. They're away at a bad Rams team. They're away at Cleveland, should be a win. They're away at Indianapolis, which we've all said could probably go either way. And they're away at Seattle, who, again, has only been 15-10 over the last 3 years. So it's not like they're going up against a juggernaut like Kansas City. The Bengals might be their toughest away opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think that's really fair.
Yeah, their toughest games are Cincinnati, San Francisco, and maybe Baltimore. Otherwise, they're all the rest are very winnable, and maybe Jacksonville, maybe.
But
Jacksonville.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it's an interesting point that I didn't think about the Bengals is I think everything is still up in the air about Joe Mixon. I don't know. I don't think that
I don't know if he's coming back.
What's that?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's coming back.
Right. So it's like that sort of makes you wonder.
Wasn't there some kind of thing where he was involved in assault or something like that?
Yeah, he pointed a gun and some lady's face.
Okay.
Even if it does, I think Joe Mixon's best days are behind him. I think if anything, the last 2 years have been a bit of a surprise rather than an expectation. So, I think he's a guy that, whether he comes back or not, it's not like he's the stud he once was. It's still, I feel it's still Chubb. Is right up there, is one of the best running backs in the division, and if not the league. So,
yeah,
I don't know what the Bengals are going to do at running back. We'll see.
Yeah. Watch them end up with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, there's no answer. I thought I'd be so mad.
Me too.
So mad because I like
wash my mouth out.
Yeah. Derrick Henry's one of the guys. The other guy that's been talked about is, I guess it's Larry Fitzgerald. He could be a guy that at the trade deadline could go to could you imagine Larry Fitzgerald ending up on Cincinnati or Kansas City or Buffalo?
Ooh.
No.
To play out the rest of his, who knows?
Interesting.
Are we talking about? Wait, I'm confused.
I thought he retired.
Yeah, he did.
He officially retired? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Convinced,
well, I mean,
hey,
former.
The Steelers might be getting Quan Alexander, so you never know.
Right.
Never know. Who knows?
Fingers crossed. I would love that.
I mean, AB was talking about coming back, so who knows? I mean,
there you go.
Things have happened.
Well, let's get Antonio Brown. He owns a team. He could bring some of those players in.
Yeah.
JJ Watt is coming to Pittsburgh.
That's right. JJ Watt is coming.
Right? Don't forget that.
Yeah, what was that today? Ike Taylor said you better stay in shape, and then of course, the Yinzer Nation's like, he's gonna be a Steeler.
He shot it down, but
JJ Watt said, "Listen, I'm not coming to Pittsburgh."
No.
That doesn't stop us. That doesn't stop us from
exactly.
That doesn't stop. People are like, I think that means he's coming.
Right, exactly.
What he's trying to tell us is that he's coming.
Unfortunately, I think the only Watt brother we're getting back is Derek Watt. I think that's who we're gonna have to settle for.
Yep.
All right, guys. This was so much fun.
That was fun.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody.
Ladies, it was great doing it together with you. Awesome job.
It was good to see you, Darren.
You too.
All right. We'll see you guys.